Barcelona.
Look how quick he is off his movements. He gives the ball and he gets it right back. It's just an incredible quick release. Also did well to cut down the distance, limit the angle that Malcolm had open to him.
$37 million transfer from Bordeaux is this man, Malcolm.
Just look at that turn, how quick that is. Strong hands by Olsen. Had he stayed on his line, Malcolm would have had more of the goal to shoot at. It was well done by him to read the situation as defenders read. It's interesting, they changed the back line a little bit, Roma, because three of Jesus, Manolas, and Fabio, they could not keep up with the pace. So they changed things out, give some new players a chance to play together to see if they could handle the speed and the interplay of Barcelona. Right now, it hasn't been working out that well for him.
Manolas, the Greek defender, one with strong words for Malcolm as we watch Barcelona. Cucurella. And the whistle blows. Flag goes up as Barcelona was into the attack. Some strong words from Manolas, as I alluded to. He said of Malcolm upon his arrival in Barcelona, he met the media earlier today and said, prior to his signing, I had no idea who he is. The signing and the snub of Roma still stings for many on the Italian side. The 10-minute mark, Manolas, the defender, wearing 44 to play this back for Olsen.
I don't know his name now. After this game, already just making an impact in his movement on the flanks, pulling defenders apart from one another horizontally with his wide positioning.
Florenzi to latch onto this. Back heel, it's a good ball. Played across it, Dzeko. And deflected away. Throw in for Roma and Florenzi. Pellegrini. Cleared by Semedo. Manolas under pressure to play this back. Olsen, the 28-year-old goalkeeper. Starting goalkeeper for Sweden at the World Cup in Russia. Teams waiting still on many of the prominent names that competed in that tournament. Many of the familiar stars for Barcelona only today getting their preseason training underway. The likes of Lionel Messi, Gerard Piqué, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba all had their first session today, not on U.S. soil, but back at Barcelona. Dzeko holds off Semedo on the volley. That's Florenzi who put it wide of goal.
Look at what happens when Dzeko is involved. The point person up top, able to hold the ball, and even when he draws himself wide, he has that big frame. He's nimble in tight spaces despite being so large and able to make an impact on the attack.
It's Marlon for Barcelona. Roma reached the UEFA Champions League semifinals for the first time in 34 years. Can they close the gap, though, on the Italian football top two from a year ago, having finished 18 points back of Juventus and 14 behind the league runners-up Napoli?
I don't think so, but I think they can still try to stay within that top four.
Defending champions in Serie A have made the so-called signing of the century as well, with the addition of Cristiano Ronaldo, Arthur, Rafinha, and Semedo. Roberto. 13 of the players on the roster for Barcelona, representing Barcelona B squad primarily. Fact-finding mission for the manager Ernesto Valverde and this tour of the United States as Arthur plays this back. Once the full squad comes, it'll be interesting to see what role is defined for Arthur. Clearly the talent is there, and he was able to open his account the other day. As this ball is played over the top, a push on Munier by Manolas, and a foul is called.
A smart play by Manolas. Bringing down Munier, stopping the attacking momentum. No intention to play the ball. Arthur did equip himself well for Barcelona with the likes of Rakitic and all the other qualities they have in midfield. it's good to not only give those starters a little bit of a push, but it can help complement and add depth in the midfield. Because remember, they've lost Iniesta. They've lost quality players that they need to replace.
Rakitic might be late getting started as well. Played for a side that competed in the World Cup final only 16 days ago, Kate. Each one of these teams opened their respective league campaigns on the same weekend, August 18th and 19th, but it's Barcelona that might be doing some more catching up.
Well, absolutely. They had 14 players involved in the World Cup from 9 different countries. So having such quality in your B squad allows time for those players to build into fitness. And you'll see that impact towards the later stages of the season when that accumulated fatigue will cause injuries for those players that don't rest adequately after the World Cup.
Cucurella. Ball intended for Vidal, and there's Manolas again in the eye of the Barcelona storm. Arthur. Semedo. Ivan Marcano to the midfield strike. A withdrawn Dzeko sees it taken away. This is Semedo. Rafinha with the goal for Barcelona to give the reigning Spanish champions the early lead at Arlington, Texas. Taken away, Vidal. Malcolm. Semedo on the far side. It's Benfica man at the edge of the 18. Off the left foot, and it's fired just wide of goal. It's sent Olsen diving to his right, and dodging a bullet is Roma. This was nearly a 2-0 game.
Just like in that first game against Tottenham, that right side is creating all the chances. Again, Rafinha finding himself in a good spot, the top of the D. No one from that Roma midfield able to collapse into that space, close up that gap, and put adequate pressure on him. The ball's just moving too fast for them to adjust.
Rafinha has been the danger man and forces the foul once again as Barcelona advances forward. Another look. Pellegrini with the foul. This is Arthur. Cucurella. Long leg. Cucurella chased by Kluivert. Quickly played to the foot of Vidal. Now Arthur. Dzeko won it back for Roma. Can they hit on the counter? This is Kluivert. Tries to find an extra gear. Longley is the defender who does well. Deflected off Semedo and taken back. De Rossi, the 35-year-old, the captain of post-Totti era for Roma. Sees Florenzi. Florenzi floats this into the 18. That's a touch too far for Stefan El Shaarawy, whose name we had not called until that point.
Yeah, he's taken a much more defensive stance. Kluivert isn't really known on the right-hand side for his defensive ability. That's something he'll need to work on if he wants to get a lot of playing time with Roma as they press on both sides of the ball and find success in that higher press.
No one doubts the offensive side of it, do they? He arrived at Roma having scored 10 goals in 30 Eredivisie matches at Ajax last season. This is Semedo for Barcelona. Closed down. This will force the first corner of the game. It'll be Malcolm to the far side. Approaching the 20th minute. Malcolm, the corner. Curls this ball in. That's headed away. De Rossi. Semedo. Played back for Cucurella. Barcelona side that we told everyone at the very top, Kate, won the double. Spanish Primera plus Copa del Rey, but when your biggest rival walks away with the ultra prize, the European Championship once again, leaves a sour taste at the end of the year. The big picture, doesn't it?
It does.
Third straight European Championship for Real Madrid. Pellegrini for Roma. Taken away. Arthur, dispossessing Roma, continues on. This is Malcolm. Malcolm tries to cut to the middle. Kevin Strootman disrupts him, and the foul is called against Barcelona. Malcolm signed a 5-year deal with this Barcelona side as it began its U.S. tour. Announcement was made in Portland. Stories of Roma considering legal action to fight the acquisition, but here he is representing Barcelona tonight. Ball takes a deflection in the middle of the park. Taken down. Munier. Now Arthur. Sergio Roberto. Semedo. Down the right channel, Rafinha. Man with the goal tonight for Barcelona lays this off. This is Semedo. Takes it into the 18. Arthur. Roberto. Barcelona with its yeoman share of possession to this point in the game. Rafinha. Welcome those of you who've just joined us on ESPN. International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. You're watching AS Roma and Barcelona. Those of you looking for baseball tonight can now find that and make the switch to ESPN2. Vidal. Munier. Ball went over the line. Will come back the other way for a goal kick. Check that. The flag goes up on the far side. What you've missed here, Rafinha with the opening goal for Barcelona early in the game as we get a look at Eusebio Di Francesco. Roma manager whose dream of Champions League glory realistically ended with...
And they said, bring on baseball tonight. Leading off with Tim Kirsch and Mark Teixeira on this trade deadline day. From the theater of the absurd. Wait till you see what happened here. So Chris Archer, he's a member of the Pirates, goes for 3 players, gets a big hug. That headlines deadline day. Then there are the other stories. Chris Sale, 10-day DL. Red Sox claim it's not serious. This is more precautionary. His September-October numbers in years past haven't been good, but he's on the 10-day DL. And this hand, foot, and mouth thing is running through New York. Jay Happ now has it. Noah Syndergaard's got it. So Happ's been quarantined. But according to the Yanks, there's a good chance he makes a start over the weekend. Just stay away from Jay Happ. And Mike Trout went to the rings in Tampa Bay. This thing is so high and so far that roof has rings in it. It hit one of them. It's his 30th home run of the season. And that's where we are on this Baseball Tonight program with Tim and Mark. Karl Ravech, welcome to the program. We'll get to the highlights of the games tonight. It's hard to give up 25 runs. Congratulations to the Mets. They did that. And they were the least active team during this deadline. Congratulations for them on that. Let's get to the deals that were done, and there were a lot of them. I mean, a ton of them. Chris Archer, the Rays sent out a feeler saying, send us your best offer yesterday, which meant he was going to get traded, and the Pirates sent him the best offer.
Right, and the Pirates are now in this for this year, and they're in this for the future, because he's a guy for this year and the future, given that great contract that he has that's really going to help the Pirates.
All right, how much do you think it helps the Pirates to have Chris Archer?
I think this is a great pickup. Chris Archer has not had a good season this year. His last few years, he hasn't been that ace that he was his first couple in Tampa, but I think he's a change of scenery type of guy. He's going to get better in Pittsburgh, and that's what the Pirates are counting on.
Change of league certainly will help him. Look, when you face the teams that you face in the AL East, the Red Sox and the Yankees, there's a really good chance that your ERA is going to be higher. Against everybody else, a little bit better. Archer's ready for the Steel City. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Archer, they will appreciate his social consciousness, no doubt about it, and Tampa will miss him. So Archer to the Pirates. And the Orioles were decimated today and over the last couple of days. From Machado at the All-Star game to several others today, including Jonathan Scope, who goes to the Brewers, for Jonathan VR and 2 minor leaguers. He may end up playing shortstop for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Either way, they're going to have a very productive infield when they go with the offensive infield they can put out there. But when they have Scope at second and Arcia at short, that's a really good middle of the infield defense.
They, of course, picked up Mike Lusaka, so a whole new infield for the
in Atlanta. Ronaldo not featuring for Juventus against the MLS All-Star. Should be a spectacular show. Nevertheless, in what is clearly the new hotbed of American soccer.
That's a great venue, isn't it? It gets so excited. That, Seattle, Portland.
Doesn't hurt when the team is as formidable as Atlanta United has proven to be. And this is just its second season sitting at the top of the Eastern Conference.
And Carlos Bocanegra, the GM, has done a wonderful job securing talent. And this is where Roma's getting caught. Their midfield playing too slow, trying to turn. They just don't have the capabilities on the ball. You see Barcelona does to handle pressure and break.
Rafinha. Arthur. Rafinha went flying to the ground. And a foul on our first yellow card of the match as well is issued. Enzo Pellegrini is cautioned.
This is the most physically intense game that I've seen. Look at that. That is definitely a card, if not red card, from behind. No chance of getting the ball. And you wonder if it's that Malcolm signing is the reason why there's so much anger towards one another. But in all the ICC games that we've done or seen, when have you seen challenges so far that you've seen of Roma being laid out? Whether it's Manola, or just right there. That's a vicious tackle at preseason. It seems like everyone's giving themselves a little bit of grace between each other. No one wants to get hurt before the season starts.
I suppose if you're Roma, if you're going to play to really win one, this might be the one that they've circled on this tour with Malcolm part of this Barcelona squad. 28th minute of a 1-0 game in favor of Barcelona. Glad you joined us on ESPN for this 2018 International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Free kick for Barcelona. Vidal, one of the options here.
I'd like it to be Arthur. About 5 yards closer, we saw his ability to strike it.
Robin Olsen, the keeper, was signed 5 days after the departure of Alisson. A much heralded transfer to Liverpool. It will be Vidal who puts this into no man's land. Missed opportunity for Barcelona. You're watching the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Open your world and enjoy responsibly. Move by Alisson, including incentives, could be worth as much as $84 million. A world record for a goalkeeper. Frame of reference, Kate. Roma moved Mohamed Salah to Liverpool 13 months ago for an initial fee of $42 million. There are some offers that are simply too good to refuse, I would imagine.
Well, especially if you saw what happened to Liverpool in the Champions League with their goalkeeper, Karius, letting them down. As they're slowly getting all the pieces together, as Liverpool's going to try to make a challenge, not only win Champions League, but to finish on top of the league, they need a goalkeeper who can instill confidence, command the box, build out of the back, and that's exactly what they purchased. You can't put a price sometimes on confidence that a goalkeeper can give a back line.
As we watch Malcolm for Barcelona. Vidal. 30th minute of a 1-0 game in favor of the Spanish champions. Controlled by Sergio Roberto. Cucurella. Again, Arthur. Marlon works this across. That fee for Alisson eclipsing the $62 million that Juventus paid Parma 17 years ago for a keeper named Gigi Buffon. Cucurella able to work this across. Semedo, and now Roberto. Barcelona B squad showed its mettle in that victory over Tottenham just days ago. They controlled the match for the most part against Spurs. Arthur. Marlon Santos to Lenglet. Malcolm. Rafinha. Barcelona looks comfortable as we get deeper into this half, Kate.
Watch the movement of number 22, Vidal. Now he's all the way now on the right-hand side. He started on the left. He is pulling the back line of Roma further and further towards its own goal, opening up bigger pockets of space for Rafinha to work in. Roberto and Arthur, they can sit in the half turn and decide when and where they want to go. And it's all because of that mobility of their wingers up top.
The Brazilian Rafinha. Munier. Rafinha turns towards goal. Tried to spring Malcolm and broken up by AS Roma. Reminder, tomorrow it's more International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Arsenal versus Chelsea at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. Benfica Lyon on ESPN News at 4 Eastern time. This is too far for Edin Dzeko. All of the games available on the ESPN app.
You can see Rafinha in the good tackle challenge there by Marcano. Stepping off that back line as no one in that midfield has been able to shut down the free play that Barcelona has had. Cucurella's coming up, Semedo's coming up, and it's allowing that midfield to take an even higher stance.
Dzeko tumbling to the ground. Barcelona trying to hit for its second of the game. Munier from long range into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper Olsen. Pellegrini.
I love that. Semedo went up, right back, right? He's the wing back on the right-hand side. He's in joining the attack. He tries to put the initial pressure. AS Roma does a good job building out of it, but guess who's taking his spot on the right-hand side, covering that gap that was exposed? That was Rafinha, willing to do the defensive work. When you play for Barcelona, there are no passers. You have to play on both sides of the ball.
We watch Clivert for Roma. Able to play this across, and the sweet finish in front to tie the match. It is El Shaarawy to level the game at 1. They call him the Pharaoh, and we are tied at Arlington, Texas.
Well, on the transition, Kluivert is able to get down to the end line and get it across to El Sharawi. Not picked up, sitting in the gas machine. Senedo and Santos. Look at that. Look how quick he is on the half turn. Poor man marking in the box. Wilson had no chance in goal. And Kluivert mostly asked to do a defensive role this entire first half. Had one opportunity earlier that he shanked when he tried to strike it. When he went in for his left foot, that one we got to see his quality. Now going end line and setting up somebody else.
What does that do for the confidence of the teenager Justin Kluivert, who sets this up? Scored a hat-trick back in November, something his dad never did in the Dutch League. Had his first cap for the Netherlands back in March and sets up the tying goal here. Cucurella for Barcelona. And now Longley. Senedo does well. Continuing on, Malcolm for Barcelona to Cucurella. This is Vidal. Tackled by Florenzi, and Barcelona staying with this. Malcolm, but a foul is called. Tempers flare, and there is Manolas in the middle of it all.
Manolas has already been called twice for fouls, getting pulled out of that center back position to help cover Vidal and others. And Kluivert comes in going for the ball. And just the wingspan and the arms around him, Malcolm.
Yellow card for Kostas Manolas. Greek defender who was outstanding, opening eyes at the 2014 World Cup.
He's an old-fashioned center back, trying to make a little bit of impression on the others.
Two Roma players cautioned in the opening 37 minutes of the game. Go back to the very memorable night at Stadio Olimpico when Roma rallied from 4-1 in the aggregate, winning the second leg 3-0 to advance to the semifinals. You remember the storyline. It was Edin Dzeko who opened the scoring early. De Rossi converted a penalty, and it was Manolas with the goal in the 82nd minute that wound up putting them through the semifinal round. Florenzi to Kluivert. De Rossi. Will the flag stay down? El Sharawi couldn't get much on it. Flag up on the near side on Roma. Roma's taken some of the match back here since the opening 20 minutes, haven't they?
Well, every time they sit back a little bit and are able to win it in the midfield, they're quickly transitioning, becoming a counter-attacking side. And they're slowly growing into the game.
Strootman. El Sharawi takes this into the 18. Marlon defending it. Dzeko puts it way over the bar. The Bosnian now 32 years of age in his 4th season with Roma. Rafinha. Played in. Long leg to work this back for Jasper Cillessen. Coming up in the Ally halftime report, MLS All-Stars getting set for the big night tomorrow in Atlanta versus Juventus. Our crew in Atlanta will have a preview and highlights from the International Champions Cup. Action earlier tonight. Tottenham with a victory over Milan. Manchester United 2-1 over Madrid. Manolas there. to deny Munier. Semedo for Marlon. Rafinha opened the scoring for Barcelona. Answering back, El Shaarawy for Roma side tonight. This is Rafinha. Roberto. Arthur. Roberto gets it back from Vidal. Now Cucurella. Closed down by Florenzi. The ball deflected away. Sergio Roberto for Barcelona. Back by Manolas to Robin Olsen. Big shoes to fill for the Roma keeper that does emerge. They were active in their pursuit of goalkeepers before and after the big news concerning Alisson's move to Liverpool. Mirante in the mix as well. We saw him the last time around for Roma in this International Champions Cup. Kluivert, top of the 18. Kluivert tries to pull it back on the right foot. Closed down. Cucurella did well to stop his progress. Barcelona back the other way. Vidal. And Munier slows the pace. Here's Arthur. Vidal for Rafinha. Rafinha continues on, tried to lay this ball off of Munier, and cleared away by Roma. Another Barcelona throw-in. Some time since Barcelona performed in Texas. Played in Dallas in 2011 versus Club America. 1-2-0. One of the goal scorers that night, present-day New York City striker David Villa. Marlon on the ball here. Vidal. Advantage rule. Barcelona continues on. Cucurella for Rafinha. Gives here. Sergio Roberto gives it a go and puts it over the bar.
That patient build-up of slow passes in between the midfield and front line buys time for the outside backs like Cucurella to get forward. And as they get forward, they start to push that back line further back. So even though there's no space in behind, there is gaps of space up front of that back line that midfield is trying to take advantage of. Barcelona is more dangerous, though, when they get it on the flanks and try to overload it, especially on that right-hand side in those first 10 minutes.
Roberto with room. Vidal takes it into the 18. Vidal pulls it back. First attempt blocked away. Continues on. Puts this ball wide of goal. So the Barcelona subs warming up. We expect to see many of them as the evening continues, including Balou, who was front and center in that group, the former Montreal Impact striker, now playing for Barcelona B. As we get a look at Ernesto Valverde, Di Francesco matching wits once again as they did the European stage in the spring. This ball takes a deflection. El Shaarawy Can't latch on to this. It'll go for a corner, second of the game. Of more concern here for Barcelona is the goalkeeper, Silesen.
El Shaarawy both going in for it. Silesen. And it's his head impacting with his defender. A little slow to get up. Smart to check on him. But need to keep an eye and watch that.
'14 World Cup. It was Silesen who started every game for the Dutch in that competition. Here's the ensuing corner taken by Roma. 1 minute of stoppage time has been posted by the fourth official. Maybe the final act of the opening half. That ball drilled, defended away by Vidal. Alexis Vidal follows up this ball deflected away. Roma, perhaps with one last chance on a throw-in. Taken back by Silesen. And this should do it for the opening half. Sergio Roberto, but the whistle blows. Barcelona took the early lead on the goal by Rafinha. Answering back, El Shaarawy for AS Roma tonight. 1-1 at the half. We'll check in with our crew at the NLS All-Star Game as our halftime coverage commences in a moment.
Daniel's wish is that Dad didn't work so far away. Dad did more than just wish. Upload your resume on Indeed.
At Ally, we're doing digital financial services right. But if that's not enough, we have more than 8,000 allies looking out for one thing, you.
Call in the next 10 minutes.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every dollar.
Put down the phone.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every cent.
Grab your wallet.
Access denied.
And if that's still not enough to help you save,
New one.
we'll bring out the dogs.
The old one's just fine.
We'll do anything, seriously, anything to help our customers.
Thanks.
Ally, do it right.
At Papa John's, we like to say, better sausage, better beef, better bacon, better julienne cut Canadian bacon, better pepperoni, better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium meats pizza or our new barbecue meats pizza for $6.99 each.
When you're America's Best Value, you don't need a whole lot of hoopla. What you need is a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty and an IIHS Top Safety Pick Award. And we're going to need a whole lot of hamburgers because look at this grill.
During Kia's America's Best Value Summer Clearance, get 0% APR for 72 months or $4,000 customer cash on the purchase of select 2018 Sorrentos.
Hello to quality time at Marco's. Hello to the best part of the day and to the best night ever. These are the primo moments, and they call for Italian quality pizza. Dough made from scratch every day. Sauce from the original Gianmarco recipe. And right now, say hello to an authentic favorite times 2. Get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Every store, every day, the Italian way. Hello, Primo.
Ally, we're doing digital financial services right. But if that's not enough, we have more than 8,000 allies looking out for one thing, you.
Call in the next 10 minutes.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every dollar.
Put down the phone.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every cent.
Grab your wallet.
Access denied.
And if that's still not enough to help you save,
New one.
we'll bring out the dogs.
The old one's just fine.
We'll do anything, seriously, anything to help our customers.
Thanks.
Allies, do it right.
Welcome to the Ally Halftime Report. Halftime in Arlington. Over the weekend in International Champions Cup play, Juventus' Luca Clemenza, the 21-year-old, with a sparkling goal versus Benfica in a 1-1 draw. His squad will take on the MLS All-Stars in Atlanta Wednesday. With more on that, Max Fratos, Alejandro Moreno, and Casey Keller.
The Mercedes-Benz Stadium, its spectacular nature matched by its size. Great place to catch a sporting event, particularly soccer, and maybe an MLS All-Star game, which happens Wednesday night. Juventus, the opponent. Max Fratos along with Alejandro Moreno and Casey Keller. This is an important game for MLS All-Stars, more so than other All-Star games, because you get to beat a team from overseas with a big reputation. They get that here against the old lady.
Look, it's a fun game, but it's also a difficult game. When you look at the selection process, it's very offensive-orientated, this selection. They're going to have about a day and a half to prepare for this, to throw a bunch of people in positions, out of positions, to try to play against a team, you know, in a club that just continues to win Serie A every year and is adding pieces.
Yeah, you look at MLS and where the league is nowadays, and I think there's an expectation for this team to come together, bunch of all-stars, and somehow look like a team, and eventually somehow be the team like Juventus that is so very competitive. But they are in preseason, right? And our guys in Major League Soccer, these are guys that are fully on in the middle of the season, so they should be able to put together a good performance. As for Juventus, the truth is that most of the big guys just started their own version of preseason back home in Turin. So yeah, Cristiano is not here, Douglas Costa not here, Wayne not here, and yet you feel this is a team that can be so very competitive because of the talent level that they have available. Still, it should be a good showcase for MLS. It should be an exciting match, and I expect the MLS players to play well.
Yeah, Juventus has enough stars still here to make themselves competitive. Now, granted, you don't know where they are in that preparation. Are they having 3-a-days? Are they doing whatever? But they're going to want to come out and show some pride as well and put on a good performance against the All-Stars.
To that point is you put 70,000 people in a stadium, and all of a sudden the game turns, right? Now it feels more significant than just a preseason match, and so I expect also Juventus to play well.
It's going to be a big event, and even though they're not with some of their key stars, it's the name on the front of the shirt. You know, they say that. It's Juventus. It's the big name from Italian soccer, and our coverage begins Wednesday, 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN, also available on the app.
Stars shine Wednesday in Atlanta. Coming up next, we'll catch you up on all the International Champions Cup news and notes.
This ICC Halftime Report is presented by Allies. Do it right.
At Ally, we'll help you be smarter with your money. And if that's not enough, we'll bring in this expert saver.
That's an impulse buy. Let me put that back for you now.
Ta-ta-ta-ta!
What are you doing?
I'm enjoying the American Classical.
It's the American Classic, All-American Dog and Tots for $2.99.
I'm sorry, the All-American Dog and
Tots. Give me that.
Hurry in to try the All-American Dog or Chili Cheese Coney with Tots for just $2.99.
This is not a test or high school science lab. And it's far more intense than any video game. It's nothing like running for class president, checking in with your friends online, or the first time you got behind the wheel. Out here, it's not where the sea takes you, but who it makes you. Start your journey at Navy.com.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. It's been years.
Is that what I think it is? What is that you have here?
What is this?
That's a phone that I haven't had to charge for 2 days.
What is that?
Is that a keyboard? That's what's keeping our data safe.
And it's a speed key to all my apps. Watch. There it is.
It's Android?
Yeah, it's all Android.
That's a BlackBerry. I thought...
It's BlackBerry.
Yeah, it's a BlackBerry.
I used to love my BlackBerry.
I still do.
The BlackBerry Key 2, an icon reborn.
It looks as though Major Taylor is thinking to go for it. He's working hard, coming up on third. Taylor brings it. It's Taylor out in front. The world champion.
By 1901, Major Taylor was one of the world's greatest athletes. But he still had one man left to beat. Himself. intensity. Never stop, never settle.
What are you doing?
I'm enjoying the American Classical.
It's the American Classic, All-American Dog and Tots for $2.99.
I'm sorry, the All-American Dog and
Tots. Give me that.
Hurry in to try the All-American Dog or chili cheese coney with tots for just $2.99.
I'm Fenway Park, and look who's paying B-Town a visit. The Yankees, and they're really good. But the Sox are best in the majors, and when the Yanks manage to keep up, then the best rivalry in the game is at its best. It's like a clash between superheroes with the vein of the AL East at stake. So to the Bronx Bombers, Mookie, JD, and I say, bring it. The rivalry comes to Sunday Night Baseball. Yankees Red Sox at 8 on ESPN.
Look at me up now. We popping bottles like I scored a winning touchdown. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Yeah. Hey.
Welcome back to the Ally Halftime Report. AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas is where Roma and Barcelona at halftime are tied at 1. Each one of these teams inside 3 weeks of opening their domestic league seasons. Earlier tonight, International Champions Cup. Manchester United with a 1-0 lead in its game against Real Madrid. Under Herrera got on the end of an Alexis Sanchez backheader and scores. Man United produced the 2-1 win. Meanwhile, Tottenham taking on AC Milan.
Yeah, in the 47th minute, kicked off, and Tottenham's going straight goal. Kevin and Kudus. Look at that beautiful finish. Tottenham started strong in this ICC.
One would be enough for Spurs in this one. Meanwhile, the game you're watching on ESPN, it was Rafinha for Barcelona who would open the scoring early.
He was just pulling all the strings in the opening minutes of the game. Interchange and movement, connecting the front and midfield line, putting them ahead early, and then Kluivert, the new signing, get to see his quality and his speed, turn in the corner, buying his other front winger.
El Shaarawy with the leveling goal. Barcelona outshot Roma 11-6 in the opening half. And the Spanish side with roughly 3/4 of possession in this game. And 2 Roma players issued yellow cards in that opening half. Lorenzo Pellegrini and Kostas Manolas. Take a look at our first half stats brought to you by Hennessy. That's a peek at that. We'll come back. Start of the second half, moments away. We're expecting massive changes for each side. Back with more in a moment.
This ICC Halftime Report is presented by Ally. Do it right.
Pardon the way that I feel. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
This is not a game or part-time in your uncle's shop, and it's bigger than any state championship. It's nothing like fireworks on the 4th of July, 2-a-days with your varsity football team, or the first time you stayed out all night. Out here, it's not where the sea takes you, but who it makes you. Start your journey at Navy.com.
At Papa John's, we like to say, better sausage, better beef, better bacon, better julienne cut Canadian bacon, better pepperoni, better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium meat pizza or our new barbecue meat pizza for $6.99 each.
With Metro PCS, you can share all the things you love with an amazing unlimited deal. Switch now and get 4 lines of unlimited high-speed data for $100, period. And choose 4 free phones from great brands.
Many long hours and sleepless nights ago, Jane began her engineering career. This is the moment it takes off. Spectacularly. Upload your resume on Indeed.
At Ally, we'll help you be smarter with your money. And if that's not enough, we'll bring in this expert saver.
That's an impulse buy. Let me put that back for you, no?
At
Toyota, when we say save more on I-4, it's not just money, it's time. With our new Toyota Express Maintenance, you'll get the right price, right quality, right now. Call or click to schedule a service appointment. Lakeland Toyota, right off I-4 at exit 31.
This August on Frontier Communications.
I'm here because of you. You did this to me.
When you touch people, you can see their fears. And when I touch someone, I can see their hopes.
You and I are connected. The universe keeps pushing us together.
The universe keeps pulling us apart.
See Freeform in HD on Channel 699.
People are driving from all over to take advantage of the huge savings at Lakeland Toyota. Come see why. More room, bigger selection, and better prices. Lakeland Toyota, right off I-4 at exit 30.
Welcome back to the International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Start of the second half is moments away in Texas. FC Barcelona and AS Roma are tied at 1. Rafinha and El Shaarawy exchanging goals in the opening 45 minutes of play as the tournament continues and the tune-up continues for each of these sides that begin domestic league play. Less than 3 weeks from now, Roma will close out its U.S. tour 1 week from tonight versus Real Madrid at New Jersey's MetLife Stadium. Barcelona preparing for the start of the Spanish Primera season on the weekend of August 18th and 19th. We'll tell you what each of these teams are going to tackle in the league as we move along at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. There's excitement again, Kate, around Italian football again. Cristiano Ronaldo signing with Juventus is obviously the biggest chip in that excitement. Carlo Ancelotti returning to Napoli. And suddenly there's a buzz around Serie A that many feel had escaped us in the last couple of years.
Well, adding the quality of Ronaldo just improves the overall level of play. And everything becomes through the lens of Ronaldo, how he's going to impact every single game, what he's going to do to make sure that his team stays on top. It'll be fun to watch all the other teams try to raise their levels to be able to prevent him from being as impactful as his 40-plus goal season that he had last year.
Roma was third in Serie A last season. One more tune-up in the International Champions Cup on U.S. soil coming your way next Tuesday, 8 Eastern on ESPN against Real Madrid. And then the Serie A season gets underway on the road at Torino, home against Atalanta, at the San Siro, AC Milan, and then Chievo on September 16th. You were skeptical in your belief that they could climb the table higher than the third-place finish, but it was pretty impressive a year ago.
It is, but I don't think they're going to surpass Napoli. I don't think they're going to topple Juventus. I just don't think it's possible, but I do think they can challenge when it comes down to those home and away games that happen in all the cups that they qualified for doing so well last season. But this is the thing about Roma is it's one of those aggressive sides that helps you grow as a player. It's one of those intermediate teams to step up from many other teams around the world, and it can be the stepping stone to get into one of the elite teams. That's why Kluivert has signed for Roma, because he knew going here could get him to the big club. His dream club is his opponent right now, Barcelona.
Second half is set to begin in this 1-1 match. Accustomed to seeing numerous substitutions at the International Champions Cup. Many of the starters, though, remain. We'll alert you of changes as we move along. Monchu, the midfielder wearing 14, has come on for Barcelona to start the second half. Marcano and Manolas remain the center-back tandem for AS Roma here at the start of play. This is De Rossi, the captain, going over the top. El Shaarawy! Yes! Second of the game. No, the flag is up. The celebration began. And this one will be pulled back.
Well, outside, he is in an offside position. Started his run earlier than the ball left the Roma defender's foot. I think it was Manolas. But just that timing, that's what preseason scorers, figuring out the exact timing when someone's going to take that longer touch and release that through ball. When exactly do you release or run?
El Shaarawy will take that as a positive nevertheless, I'm sure. We remain 1-1 at Arlington, Texas. This is Semedo.
Well, actually, there's inter-squad competition now. El Shaarawy's going to have to fight against five every time. You got Koris on the bench for Croatia. All of these players want to stay where they're at, not get loaned out, stay with Roma because they know they're going to improve. Every time there's a signing, yes, it's good for the immediate, but it's also an impact on everybody to make sure that they keep their game at the top level.
Longley to Rapina. Brazilian has found the back of the net. He's been lobbying for brother Thiago to come on board with Barcelona.
Number 18, Juan Miranda. Number 24.
Juan Branderiz, Chumi, the 19-year-old defender, has come on, wearing number 16 for Barcelona. Cucurella is the player who comes on. Quite often in these situations, we're catching up as you are when so-called sub makes his first touch. We'll do the best we can from our vantage point. Part of the fun of this tournament as Santon. He's taken back by Barca. Goalkeeping change has taken place for Roma. Robin Olsen is done. Antonio Mironte, the 34-year-old keeper, has come on to start the second half in his place. Rafinha, Molchu. Abel Ruiz, the striker, has come on wearing number 7. Played across and mounted with the finish. The service from Balu had come on. And Barcelona has taken a 2-1 lead early in the second half.
In the middle and then looking to commit the defender and go out wide. The substitute Balu gets a little lucky that the deflection off the defender goes right back into him in the space he wanted to. And Malcolm poaching on that back post and not picked up by the defender. An easy finish. And a great start for the new signing. He really has everything. Everyone says the potential is through the roof. He's got the technical attributes, the physical, and most importantly, the psychological. And also, look at the size of him for a young player.
Twisting the knife in the side that he shunned. Ball takes a deflection, and waiting for it is Jesper Silesen. Here's Malcolm on the ball once again. Roma believed it had a deal for Malcolm to come aboard. Instead, opting to sign with Barcelona. He's helped factor into the first goal, and he scored the second tonight. Balu, the fans of Major League Soccer would recall from his brief time with the Montreal Impact, setting up the second goal. Making the jump from MLS to Barcelona B for the time being. Roma had an answer once in this game. Let's see if they have another as Rafinha plays this away. Balu again. Pass behind Malcolm and taken back. This is El Shaarawy. Santon will leave for De Rossi. Daniele De Rossi, part of the Italian World Cup winning side back in 2006. Our colleague Brian McBride will most remember him from the elbow he took from De Rossi that resulted in a 4-game suspension in that World Cup. De Rossi came back. He contributed to the final, you might recall.
He's a very versatile player. He played multitude of positions. Now he's more that anchor in that midfield. Not as mobile as he used to be, but uses positioning to compensate for his loss in speed.
with Roma 17 years, and he has not lifted the Scudetto. Here's Semedo for Barcelona. Last Serie A championship won by Roma was back in 2001. The manager, Di Francesco, was part of that team in the midfield. Remember, not as the most talented player, but one with great grit and determination. We watch Semedo for Barcelona. Rafinha. Slowed by Strootman. Rafinha, the Brazilian, continues on. Strootman commits the foul and a free kick for Barcelona.
In a dangerous space. At a little bit of an angle, not dead center. Rafinha's so busy. I thought we might be saying Arthur say more in this game, but it's been Rafinha trying to make things happen with his ball movement and ball circulation.
Malcolm is the man of the hour. 21-year-old Brazilian has the go-ahead goal. Here he is on Barcelona's ensuing set piece. Malcolm strikes and just over the bar. Sent the goalkeeper Morante diving to his left.
It's a confident strike. And it up and over the wall, doesn't dip. Like anticipated, but it was pretty close. I like that for confidence, right? A new signing? No, I got this, guys. I'm going to take this one.
We know who the stars of Barcelona are, Kate. We're not seeing many of them tonight. Messi, Suarez. But realistically, what's a role for Malcolm on the Barcelona side in the season ahead?
Well, I think he's probably looking to feed those two while he learns how to entertain. With the departure of Neymar, they've always been looking for someone to come in who's a bit younger that can help be that transition player to link this older generation with the new ones, learn from them while they're still in their prime, and then be that leader as they move on, as well as to give some much-needed inter-squad competition to Dembele.
Abel Ruiz for Barcelona. This is Juan Miranda who's come on as a second-hand sub. Follow. Monchu and Rafinha. Semedo. Into the 18. This is Semedo. Closed down, earns the corner for Barcelona. That's well done. Santon, the player defending. Malcolm again from the near side. His service, the ball pulled in and it's put over the bar. Once again, opportunity for Barcelona knocking on the door. This will come back the other way.
Roma decides to go with the zone. All ball watching, now realizing someone's creeped on their back shoulder. Rafinha once again able to find the pockets of space to make himself dangerous.
Looking for a second of the match as this is worked away by the goalkeeper Mirante. Pete Margraf, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Glad you've joined us. Busy day of International Champions Cup presented by Heineken on the ESPN networks. Riqui Puig, the 19-year-old midfielder wearing number 8 for Barcelona, one of the top talents of Barcelona B, who's come on. Monchu now centrally in the midfield as well. Amazing, the elevation of young talent through the years, the La Masia Academy, and those elevated to the first team who've played such an important role in Barcelona's success domestically throughout Europe. Riqui Puig commits the foul. Quick start by Roma. El Shaarawy, the man with the goal. Santon. Manolas. Ball too far, that nearly latched on. And Dzeko. El Shaarawy trying to keep this in play. Valiant attempt, it'll come back the other way.
That's the first service we've seen into Dzeko.
The season he had not long ago. 39 goals in all competitions for Roma. back in 2016-17. Production dipped to 24 last year for Edin Dzeko. Chumi ahead for Rafinha. Taken back by Barcelona. Malcolm off the left foot drive and a save made by Mirante.
That all came from the work rate of Ruiz, the substitute. Coming in, do a little busy work, able to dump it off to Malcolm. Again, they're going to keep him in for as long as possible to get him those minutes, to get accustomed to the system. Regardless of these, most likely won't be the players if he makes that first team, which we anticipate he will get some significant minutes. These won't be the players he's playing with on a daily basis, but the framework and the style can be imprinting.
They lay it off. Malcolm on the move again to the far side. This is Balou. Ricky Puig puts this wide and over the bar. Puig is a young man expected to play in the Segunda division, but we mentioned one of the top talents at Barcelona B. He's expected to train much with the first side. His role model, Xavi Hernandez. In his prime, one of the great passers in the world as Mirante plays this away.
He scored 27 goals in 37 games for the youth team.
Incredible. Another foul is called. This is Dzeko tumbling, tied up with Moncher. The call's against Roma.
Yeah, he's pulling him down. Couldn't get to it. Referee with a good angle to see that. But we can talk about these being the B players, the players that won't see many times with the first team. A lot of these B players for Barcelona would make a start for many of the starting 11 across the world. So much talent, so much depth.
Wonder if he'd start on this group. Full slate of action tomorrow. International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. Arsenal-Chelsea, 3 Eastern on ESPN2. Benfica-Lyon, 4 Eastern on ESPN News. All of the games available on the ESPN app. Midweek matinee action in the tournament continuing. Ricky Puig out wide. This is Balou, the ex-Montreal Impact man, firing off the right foot and blocked away high. Pellegrini brings this down for Roma. Pushed by Rafinha. The foul is called.
Remember, he got taken down in the first half with that awful tackle. He looks to be walking a bit gingerly. Can't imagine he's going to play a full 90. Especially after halftime, from sitting for so long, and your ankle has been tweaked because that's what they put the ice on. It's hard to get going again. And just watch him recover. It's not with the same ferocity and intensity as he showed in the first half. Even though he's still impactful and involved in the play.
Kate, here come the reinforcements. Numerous changes now for Roma. Planned for this 61st minute of play. Manolas, De Rossi's, many of the regulars coming off. Kluivert has come off. Brian Cristante on loan from Atalanta, one of those who comes on. So we'll sit through the changes. Let's see how Roma lines up, needing one to level here. International Champions Cup play tonight. 2-1 game. Malcolm with the go-ahead goal early in the second half, and changes on the Barcelona side as well. Malcolm is done for the evening. His contribution was solid tonight. One to watch moving forward. The Barcelona striker wearing 26.
Him and Longley really have stood out for me. Longley in the game against Tottenham and today in key moments had a good tackle in the first half, as well as distribution to set up the first goal for Barcelona.
Diego Perotti has come on. Here's a chance for Barcelona and a save by Mirante to keep the deficit 1.
wonderful through ball in behind. And Ruiz trying to bend it around Morante. Strong hand right there. This was his starter against Tottenham. He ain't calling in the second half, and he's been tested.
Here's the ensuing corner for Barcelona. Headed away by Roma. There is Mirante, the man who brings more 400 games of Serie A experience. Taking a look at Own the Save, brought to you by Ally. The Own the Save cracker, 5-1. The Roma keepers have been the busier of the two sides here tonight. This is played away by Silicen. Start of this evening for Barcelona. Luca Pellegrini, the 19-year-old left back, has come on for Roma. Wearing the number 3 shirt for Barcelona, Carlos Perez. Foul against Barcelona. Jorge Cuenca, the 18-year-old center back who has come on wearing number 3 for the Spanish champions. This is Juan Jesus, Brazilian center back. Multiple changes for each side as we play on in the 64th minute. Monchu. Alex Collado. Trying to get Chippy Baloo. Thought he was off to the races, but the whistle had blown. Monchu. Perez. Pass intercepted and taken back by Roma. And another foul, setting up a free kick practically from dead center. That's Patrick Schick, the 22-year-old Czech striker who's come on, forcing the foul.
And Monchu trying to pull the strings in midfield, set the tone and tempo. The team gets dispossessed and brings Patrick Schick down. That's a professional foul. Grabbing the jersey, I would prefer that type of professional foul rather than the one in from behind or flipping to the heels. You know how people are going to fall. Pulling their jersey a little bit, stops their forward momentum, allows the team to reorganize. I think it's like a nicer professional foul. It was my favorite way of doing it.
Is this Roma's chance to level the match? And back from one down in the first half as Silicen looks on. He was the goalkeeper for Copa del Rey titles each of the last 2 years for this Barcelona side. The number 1 Ter Stegen with the team but not playing. El Shaarawy drilled big and just over the bar. The International Champions Cup is presented by Heineken. Open your world. Enjoy responsibly. 2-1 game in favor of Spanish champions Barcelona. One of 3 games on the International Champions Cup slate tonight. Manchester United defeated Real Madrid 2-1. Tottenham over Milan earlier this evening by a score of 1-0. Perez for Barcelona. Ricky Puig. Diego Perotti. Given away, but the whistle had blown as the flag went up. Perotti, the 30-year-old striker, bulk of his career played with Sevilla. Won Europa League with that side back in 2014.
one thing they had in common with Sevilla that this Roma team does now is the sporting director. He was the one that, Monti is the one finding these players, taking these relative unknowns, signing to Sevilla and turning them into superstars.
Played out wide. This ball drilled in and wide of Mirande's goal. Juan Jesus, the defender, who tangled up.
And I like this ball, little bendy ball. You can see Jesus trying to dive for it. But those are the balls that we see where own goals happen, hitting off the tip of the cleat. And unless you get fully behind it, you can't really predict where that ball is going to go when you're lunging for it.
Here's Collado on the corner for Barcelona. The in-swinger. Shot by Balu. Is sent off the mark. Ivory Coast born, raised in Quebec, Canada. Is Balu Tabla.
And Balu's getting stuck in the ball, but he's able to just pull himself up. Look at that quick release, but he's leaning back a little bit. Again, that zone for Roma really needs to be examined as the season starts. I know this isn't them at full strength, but that's an experienced squad. And right now, Barcelona is able to find players in dangerous conditions.
Ricky Puig. Balu. Montalvo Ruiz, but taken back by Roma. 69th minute of a 2-1 game. Javier Pastore for Roma. Back for Juan Jesus. Maxime Bernalot. French midfielder has come on as well. Most of the starters now are gone from the match in this 2-1 game. As a handful remain. Here's Barcelona. Carlos Perez. Collado. Sergei Palencia with the throw-in for Barcelona as it's played back by Cumi. Palencia. Here's Abel Ruiz, the 18-year-old striker, another of the Barcelona B contingent. Palencia with a ball that's deflected away. Luca Pellegrini got in the path. Teenage left back who signed a 5-year deal with Roma back in the spring as we watch Monchu. Palencia. Collado. See the cohesion from the Barcelona subs who've come on in one wave, and they've had more than their yeoman share of the possession since coming on this latest group.
They have, but it hasn't been as dangerous as it was from that original starting group. And the only difference is, yes, they're getting the same number of passes and they're holding on possessions. But right now, if you look at the subs, they're in the same passing channels, they're in the same passing angles. So every time they lay it off, instead of getting a triangle, one person's getting bypassed to letting the ball go to them, but they're not forcing that defender to make a step or move out of the way or create a different channel to operate in. That's natural with a bunch of subs coming on and players that aren't used to playing with one another. But even though they have possession, they get back up. Even though they have possession, they're not as effective.
Given away by Patrick Schick. Joined Roma in August of last season. Czech national team striker. This is Collado for Barcelona. 73rd minute of a 2-1 game. Apologize for some technical difficulties with the International Champions Cup feed. Just a reminder, more action coming tomorrow. The International Champions Cup presented by Heineken. The action begins in the afternoon. Arsenal versus Chelsea at 3 Eastern on ESPN2. Benfica and Lyon at 4 Eastern on ESPN News. All of the games available on the ESPN app. Don't forget, Wednesday night in Atlanta, MLS All-Stars versus Juventus, ESPN, 7:30 p.m. Don Garber did not mention the name Ibrahimovic specifically earlier today. You could tell it was not the happiest commissioner that Ibrahimovic would not be part of this midsummer event.
No, but you know what? I don't blame Ibrahimovic. He knows his body. He's a professional. He's older. And he's coming back from a serious knee injury at United. A serious one that took him a long time to come back from. He knows his body. And he's like, okay, if I want to be back for my game, I need to hold out of this.
Amazing contribution. 15 goals already from Zlatan Ibrahimovic, arriving in this first year in MLS. That's second in Major League Soccer only to Joseph Martinez, who will also represent the MLS All-Stars tomorrow night. Tonight you're watching Barcelona and Roma, a 2-1 game. This is how we got to the scoreline. Rafinha opened it up.
On the 6th minute, little interchange between Rafinha. So busy in the beginning moments of the game, but Roma grew into it. Kluivert getting the defender in and then turning on the jets and getting inline change to ankle time. El Suari to tie the game in the first half.
Early in the second half, Balou had come on as a second-half sub.
And again, Rafinha, he's committing the defender, then finds Balou. And this big signing, Malcolm, the player that we thought was going to Roma last second.
Manchester United and Real Madrid earlier this evening. Alexis Sanchez would factor into this.
Alexis Sanchez able to get on the score sheet, and Manchester United wins 2-1.
Ander Herrera got on the end of the Sanchez back at her. Meanwhile, Tottenham and Milan earlier this evening.
And Kevin Nkoudou able to pick up an errant pass, but look at that strike. Barely any angle. Only place it's going to go on that near post. And that's what he was aiming for.
Tottenham would produce a 1-0 victory over Milan this evening. The 3 games. Now we're back to live pictures tonight as we enter the final quarter hour of this one. Barcelona and Roma. It's a 2-1 lead in favor of Barcelona. Sergi Palencia will watch Roma make substitutions. Federico Fazio set to come on, and so too is the Serbian defender Alexander Kolarov in the 76th minute of the match. El Shaarawy found the score sheet. Part of the Italian side for Euro 2016. 7 goals in Serie A last year, hoping for bigger and better things the upcoming season. El Shaarawy. And Matteo Cardinale has come on for the goalkeeping replacement. 17-year-old now is the man in goal for Roma. So another wave of substitutions as Roma looks for the equalizing goal in Arlington, Texas tonight. Silesen has been beaten once. Barcelona with the lead in the second half in Texas. Schick off the left foot. That took a deflection off Perotti and gathered by Silesen. Juan Jesus, chased by Ruiz. Fine footwork in the corner. No escape yet, though, for Roma. Schick once again. Waits for the reinforcements. Here they come. This is Perotti. Tries to pull it back. Throws down. And this trickles in. That's Alessandro Florenzi. Well, they nearly made a mess of it, but what do you know? In the 78th minute, we're level at 2.
Florenzi, versatile, can play in so many positions, continues his run. Just too slow trying to convert that ball from Parodi. But he continues his run. And Florenzi just waiting, not picked up. And with enough power, he's able to beat two players, goalkeeper and the recovering defenders, to tie up this game.
The 27-year-old Florenzi emerged from the Roma Youth Academy to represent the Italian national team. He was part of the squad at Euro 2016. He levels the match here late in the second half. If we are still tied at the end of 90 minutes, it'll be decided with a penalty kick shootout. Here's Balu with other ideas. One back by Roma. Florenzi, cleared away by Fazio. The confusion of the substitutions, we were told that the teenage goalkeeper Cardinali was coming on. That is still Mirante, though, the goalkeeper for Roma. Perez. Gathered up, Collado for Barcelona. Off the left foot. This hits that. It'll come back the other way. Well, Roma's opening game of this International Champions Cup started well enough. They scored early via Patrick Schick. Then the roof caved in against Tottenham. Spurs would go on to win 4-1. Looking for their first result here in this tour of the United States, and they've come back twice against Barcelona this evening. Here's Kolarov.
Same thing happened to Barcelona against Tottenham. Went up for a lead. Tottenham able to come back in.
That changed quickly. Silesen with the easy save. 2 late goals by Spurs in that game to come back from 2-0. Here's Collado. Valencia. Taken back by Roma. Javier Pastore plays this across the chip, trying to get on it. Easily handled by the goalkeeper, Silesen. Collado for Barcelona. On Silesen's distribution. Ricky Puig. Now called in the 81st minute of play. Minder up through. Barcelona into the attacking third. This takes a deflection. It'll come back from a goal kick. ESPN FC has all things of the World Game covered for you. Some of the headlines that the boys will be discussing. Sid Lowe talks about Jose Mourinho's summer meltdown. Is that an accurate description of where Mourinho's mind has been at? Max Alejandro and Casey weigh in from the site of the MLS All-Star Game in Atlanta. Most enjoy this tour of the United States at the time of the International Champions Cup. I think Mourinho can't wait to find the plane home.
I think he's the one person that is saying all the wrong things. It's actually entertaining watching his press conferences and watch the woman next to him that's from the club. You can tell she's just like, oh my goodness, the entire time he's answering his anger towards what he calls the referees instead of baseball. He called them baseball referees. His players, he criticized them. One for coming in fit, one for staying home because he just had a baby.
Injuries and unavailability, and we see the go-ahead goal for Roma. In the 83rd minute, Roma has the lead for the first time tonight. Ryan Cristante, who came on as a second-half sub, has put the Italians in front.
Well, Ryan Cristante, the 23-year-old on loan from Atalanta. Look at him with a beautiful first touch, uses momentum against the defender, and then opens up his hips, and not a strong enough hand from Celestin. Doesn't get low early enough in order to push that wide and parry it away from danger.
Formerly of Milan and Benfica, Cristante, who's played in a handful of World Cup qualifiers for the Italians, as Roma seeks its first victory at this International Champions Cup. It is Cristante who puts his team ahead. Mirante waiting at the edge of the 18.
And that's when you need someone of his experience and his maturity of knowing the game to calm his team down, hold on to the ball a little bit, allow them to get organized.
Roma will open the Serie A campaign with a road match at Torino on the 19th of August. Such a splendidly successful season in 2017-18. Third in the table. Looking at Champions League once again this season. The run, of course, to the semifinals of the UEFA Champions League last year. Lightning was not about to strike twice. Unable to come back from a 3-goal deficit in the two-leg tie for a second time. As we watch Schick venture into the box. Contact is made. Will Roma get the call? Yes, it appears to be a penalty. Juan Branderis, Chuni, the defender back. And this is Roma's chance to seal the deal.
I don't think that's a penalty. Yes, they're both interlocking arms. Yes, they're both pushing off each other. But to me, the referee was so far away, and it's such a bad angle, that he gives the foul to Roma.
Diego Perotti is the man who will try to deliver Roma its fourth. Perotti, yes, it's a 4-2 lead for Roma.
Perotti just right down the middle, anticipating that the goalkeeper, Silson, is going to dive, choose a side early. And just in the end, the substitutes were more decisive and more effective for Roma than Barcelona have been in the past 20 minutes.
Silson, you might recall, the Dutch World Cup keeper back in 2014, played the entire game, was removed for a penalty kick shootout by the Dutch in a game that the Dutch did survive to advance in that tournament. Back the other way. Perotti. In the 87th minute, it is Roma that's exploded for 4. They trailed early in the second half by a 2-1 scoreline. Talbot Collado taken back by Barcelona. They need to strike twice, need to do it quickly. Abel Ruiz is the striker on the ball. With Messi and Suarez on the trip, you might like their chances a bit more. Valencia. Into the waiting arms of the goalkeeper, Mirante. Perotti scored 5 times all of last season. The man briefly with Boca Juniors, the Argentine midfielder. Here's Kolarov. Off Barcelona, and more time will tick away. Barcelona's side that just ran away with the league last season, losing once in 38 games. That was the penultimate match of the season against Levante, in which the infamous decision to rest Lionel Messi was made so that they would compete in a friendly with Messi. Just days later at South Africa, perfect season was denied Barcelona. Still considering it was a year in which they bid goodbye to Neymar. They accomplished some wonderful things, UEFA Champions League experience aside. Morante waiting in the 89th minute.
These games are so important because it allows both coaches to see which players they should call up for all those competition and those cups. When their regular team one, their starting group gets fatigued, who's going to be able to perform? Right now, if you're Roma, you're getting some answers about some of these substitutes. Like Cristante, you bring in Kluivert, you get him minutes, you get him fit. Number Andor is still on the bench, the Turkish winger who has quick feet and can serve dangerous crosses, looking for Njeko. So it's just a vetting of players in different environments to see how they handle it, and just add some confidence for these players going into the season.
Mention the season for Roma. The Serie A opens on the 19th of August. Barcelona gets busy shortly after that. They open the Spanish Primera season as defending champions August 18th at the Nou Camp versus Alaves. First Clásico will take place on the 28th of October between Barcelona and Real Madrid. That'll have a different feel without Cristiano Ronaldo, surely, but still a mega event on the Spanish calendar. "90 minutes have elapsed for 2 Roma. 3 minutes of added time posted by the fourth official as we watch Carlos Perez. Valencia. Collado floats this. This takes a dangerous deflection. Wide of goal. That's Jesus, who nearly put it in the back of his own net. It's the ensuing corner instead.
And Jesus is asking for some communication from his goalkeeper, Morante. That's the second time he's lunged for balls where there's not a forward on him. There's no reason for him not to let that ball go to prevent any dangerous deflections.
Service by Monchu. Headed away by Roma. Schick up to challenge for this. Balu. Barcelona keeps this alive. Collado's ball intended for Balu. Played away by Roma. Another challenge by Collado. Pressed by Barcelona results in a foul, and that will stop play.
And I think that's something right there I don't think enough American fans see. How to go down, I hate to say it, but you know that you're not going to be able to play yourself out of pressure. You get a little contact, and you purposely wait to bring a player to you to get a foul and play out of pressure.
Perotti, beautiful back heel. Pellegrini plays it across. Arriving late was Cristante. Kept alive by Roma. Only for a moment. This will come back for a Silicen goal kick. It's preseason, you can smile, right?
I just love it.
Final moments of the match. Referee rules advantage. This is Palencia. Sergei Palencia tries to cut by Pellegrini. Referee says play on as it's worked ahead. Roma on the heels of its first result of this International Champions Cup. Each side with one game left on U.S. soil to close out the tour in the United States. This is Cristante, the man with the go-ahead goal tonight, what stands to be the game winner. In the final moments, played ahead, Abel Ruiz for Barcelona. Looking to make the scoreline closer, works this back. Collado. The intercept by Roma. That should be all. Indeed it is. An AS Roma side that trailed 2-1 early in the second half, roars back with 3 unanswered, and they go on to defeat Barcelona by the final score of 4-2. We'll be back to wrap things up in a moment. First, let's check in with Scott Van Pelt to see what's on tap on SportsCenter tonight.
This isn't an audition or the road trip you took to the coast. It is far from those weekend camping trips. It's nothing like a district track meet, bagging groceries at the corner store, or crashing a party with your friends. Out here, it's not where the sea takes you, but who it makes you. Start your journey at Navy.com.
At Ally, we're doing digital financial services right. But if that's not enough, we have more than 8,000 allies looking out for one thing, you.
Call in the next 10 minutes.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every dollar.
Put down the phone.
And if that's not enough, we'll look after your every cent.
Grab your wallet.
Access denied.
And if that's still not enough to help you save,
It's a new one.
we'll bring out the dogs.
The old one's just fine.
We'll do anything, seriously, anything to help our customers.
Thanks.
Ally, do it right.
Hello to quality time at Marco's. Hello to the best part of the day and to the best night ever. These are the primo moments, and they call for Italian quality pizza. Dough made from scratch every day. Sauce from the original Gianmarco recipe. And right now, say hello to an authentic favorite times 2. Get 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for just $6.99 each. Every store, every day, the Italian way. Hello, Primo.
Designed, engineered, tested, assembled, and powered in America. The 2018 Nissan Titan, featuring a standard V8 with best-in-class standard horsepower and torque, all backed by America's best truck warranty. Get 0% financing for 60 months on 13 models, or save up to $96.62 on Titan XP.
Up next on SportsCenter, the one big thing on Johnny Manziel. I think his first CFL start is going to be a lot like his last NFL start. And Bill Barnwell on how the Jaguars could be better than last year's 10-6 team that made it to the AFC title game. SportsCenter, up next.
6 goals in this International Champions Cup match. MLS All-Stars versus Juventus on Wednesday night from Atlanta. The final score in Arlington, Texas, Roma 4, Barcelona 2. For Kate Margraf, I'm Steve Cangelosi. Coming up next, SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt. Thanks for joining us.
ESPN app. Now with ESPN Plus. Get more ESPN and download now.
I'm told we're live on television. I should get prepared. Coming up, lots to unpack. The Nationals scored 25 runs against the Mets. Washington accomplished a feat not done since 1876. That's within 18. Part 2 of LeBron James' conversation with Rachel Nichols. LeBron explains why this free agent decision came much quicker and without any drama at all. And a chat with our boy Bill Barnwell, who explains why he believes the Jaguars will improve from their 10-6 season last year and why he expects the Steelers to take a step back. Our show begins now. What's happening? Welcome. This is SportsCenter. I'm Scott Van Pelt, midnight Eastern, and I am not tired yet. David Shaw from Stanford is studio. We'll talk some football. Speaking of which, the one big thing on John Canadian football, starting on Friday, what that means for him in the grand scheme. But we begin with the best thing I saw today, Mike Trout. Be you angels? And he said, nay, we are but men. Oh, this is hit to a part of the stadium down in where? Tampa. You don't typically see baseball sit. They say 427. Come on. Just He hit the ball 800 feet.
Let's be better.
I have eyes, man. I can see where the ball went. Now, come on. Tampa won the game, which is insane because they don't even have like a starting pitcher who's active on the roster. But extra best thing I saw, bottom 7, Milwaukee leading by 1. Lorenzo came. And he was thrown out at the dish, so he had a run taken away from the Brewers, and he takes a Bellinger homer away from the Dodgers right there in a 1-0 game. Fancy stuff there. All right, so take a deep breath. Stanford Steve, Mets fan.
Present.
There you go. Guess who else is still here? Bryce Harper. Rizzo says, we're not moving the guy. We're not trading him. And you know what? Maybe it was all just a genius plan. And the Washington Nationals, this underachieving team, got together before this game, started to say, you know what? Let's stop playing like garbage.
Maybe they circled the wagon.
There you go. So Harper with a double, and then Tanner Roark, sure. He rips. He's a pitcher. And that kind of day, bases are empty. The Nationals lead 6-0. Bottom 2, Daniel Murphy, former Metropolitan, huh?
Sure was.
Swinging a drive. His third of the year. It's 9-0. Everyone loves each other. Everyone's happy. One more time. Who is that? Who sings that terrible song? Come on. Terrible? I love it. That's another one for Murphy. 3 for 4, 2 homers, career high 6 RBI, 13-0. Harper, it's the 4th inning. It's a softball game. Daft Punk, of course. This was Vegas. It was late, man. It was always bad decisions being made when that song was on. All right, so it's 14-0. Enough! Rendon. It's 19-0 through 5. I believe in you, Washington. I believe in you.
Scott.
What?
According to Elias, this was the second time in Major League Baseball history a team led 19-0 after 5 innings. The first occurrence was on May 13th, 1876, when the Hartford Dark Blues held a 21-0 lead over the New York Mutuals through 5 innings. That was so long ago that nobody on the field, players or managers, was old enough to even have voted for Abraham Lincoln when he ran for president.
What?
Continue.
Now we segue to the Jose Reyes pitching portion of the program. He's got DeGrom's glove. He's trying to quick pitch. Ryan Zimmerman steps out. He's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? Settle down. And then he just zings it in there. And warning track power from Zimmerman.
Long out, 1 down.
Here we go.
Come on now.
Here we go. Soto. Look at Soto. I couldn't love this more. We're going to leave the show with it, but the Trout hit a ball 900 feet. Just look at him zinging it in there. It's the best thing that I saw this year in baseball is this guy pitching. By the way, after the game, he said, I'm not available tomorrow. Who is this hitting?
Matt Adams.
Sure it is. Is this a home run? Fan interference. Just a double. After some walks, get your command together. Reynolds, this guy strikes out a lot. He also